Hi, welcome back. Today I am going to discuss about double account system and also the final accounts of electricity companies which are to be given as per the revised syllabus of Kerala PSC Assistant Professor in Commerce exam module 6. So what is the introduction behind this double account system? Public utility concerns like gas companies, water, power, railways, etc., which operate under special acts of the Parliament, enjoy monopolistic rights in their business of rendering services to the community. This undertaking require huge amount of capital, which is mostly fixed and sunk. That is, once invested in fixed asset cannot ordinarily be got back. As a greater part of the capital is raised from the public, hence such concerns are morally bound to give full information to the public in order to show how the amount of capital was utilized in acquiring fixed assets. This object is achieved by presenting the balance sheet in not the way it is prepared by the trading concern, but by splitting it into two parts, that is the capital account and the general balance sheet. This way of presenting balance sheet in two parts is called a double account system. That is, most of the public utility concerns like water, railway, etc., gas companies, etc., all these enterprises are operate under a special act of the Parliament, and also this type of enterprises require huge amount of fixed capital for procuring the fixed asset, and they are bound to give full information regarding the details about the purchase of fixed asset to the public, and that is why in order to disclose this kind of information to the public, the balance sheet of such an enterprise, that is public utility concerns, are divided into two equal parts. First part is capital account and the second part is general balance sheet, which is totally different from the balance sheet shown provided by the single entry accounting system or balance sheet provided by the other business enterprises. So in this way, the balance sheet of public utility concerns are divided into two equal parts. They are capital account and the general balance sheet. This way of presenting the balance sheet into two equal parts, not equal parts, this kind of splitting the entire balance sheet into two parts, that is capital account and general balance sheet, is known as double account system. So under double account system, separate account in respect of capital and revenue receipts and payments are prepared in order to show clearly the capital receipts and the manner in which the amount thereof has been invested. Here, under double account system, a separate account in respect of capital and revenue receipts and payments are prepared. For what purpose they are preparing the separate revenue receipts and payments account? In order to show clearly the capital receipts, what are the sources from where the capital receipts and the manner in which such amounts is utilized or invested. So next I move to the features or characteristics of double account system. Next, what are the features or characteristics of this double account system? Double account system is a special form of final accounts, require large amount of fixed capital, and it is permanently invested in fixed asset. As compared to other trading concerns, this public utility concerns require huge amount of fixed capital in order to acquire fixed assets. Then second feature is that balance sheet under this system is prepared and presented in two parts, that is capital account and general balance sheet. Then third one is that the capital account is prepared in columnar form with three columns on either side of the account. On the receipt side, the first column represents the capital receipts at the end of the last financial year. The second represents the capital receipts during the current financial year, and the third represents the total of 1 and 2. Similarly, in the expenditure side also there are three columns representing the first column represents the capital expenditure incurred at the last financial year, and the second column represents the capital expenditure during the current financial year, and third column represents the total of 1 and 2. The difference between the two sides of this account is carried to general balance sheet. Here under double account system, balance sheet is the capital account is prepared in columnar form with 3 columns. Capital account is prepared in 3 columns on either sides. On the receipt side there are 3 columns, and also on the payment side or expenditure side there are 3 columns, and on the receipt side the 3 columns stands for, there is the first column for the capital receipts at the end of the last financial year, and the second represents the capital receipts during the current financial year, and the third column represents the total of 1 and 2. Similarly, on the expenditure side also 3 columns. First column for the capital expenditure incurred at the end of the last financial year, and the second column represents the capital expenditure during the current financial year, and the third column represents the total of first and second column. And if there is any difference between the two sides of this account, which is carried to general balance sheet. So that is why here the balance sheet of public utility concerns are divided into 2 parts. They are capital account and general balance sheet. Then third feature is that the fixed assets are shown in the general balance sheet. They appear in the capital account at cost and not at the depreciated value. That is, the fixed assets are shown in the general balance sheet only. They appear in the capital account at cost and not at the depreciated value. The next feature is that other reserves like general reserve, investment fluctuation reserves, etc. Are also shown in the general balance sheet on the liability side. So these are the some characteristics or features of this double account system. The next I move to the advantages. DAS is not the accepted abbreviation. For my convenience it is written like this, DAS. So advantages of double account system. First advantage is that as depreciation fund is compulsorily created and invested in outside securities, it helps to replace an asset without affecting the liquid resources. That is, depreciation fund is separately created and invested in outside securities, and which helps to replace an old fixed asset with the new one without affecting the liquid resources of a business. That is the first important advantage. Then second one is that the capital account helps us to know the sources of capital in various forms and the application of the same in the form of various fixed assets, and hence it can be easily followed by the ordinary person. That is, it can be easily followed by the ordinary persons. Why? Because the capital account helps to know the what are the sources from where the capital are to be raised and how this amount is used for purchasing the fixed asset. So this can be easily clear from the capital account itself by the ordinary person. Then third advantage is that the presentation of accounts in the prescribed form enables the state to ensure that the undertaking is rendering efficient services at reasonable cost. Since all the accounts are shown at the prescribed format itself, it helps the state government, or it enables the state to ensure that the undertaking is rendering efficient services at reasonable cost without any malpractices. Okay, then so these are the some of the advantages of double account system. Then next I move to the drawbacks or limitations, or what are the criticism of double account system. Next, what are the disadvantages, or what are the drawbacks, or what are the criticism of this double account system? First one is that since all the assets are recorded at cost and not the written down value, the balance sheet does not exhibit a real position. Am I right? That is, the balance sheet of public utility concern under double account system do not exhibit the real position. Why so? Because all the assets are recorded at cost price and not at the written down value. Then second disadvantage is that proper distinction between revenue expenditure and capital expenditure is not possible under this situation. It is very impracticable to differentiate what are the items of capital expenditure and what are the items of revenue expenditure. So in order to make a proper distinction between these two is very tedious task under double account system. Then third one is that these accounts are not adequate adequately understood by the general public. That is, this type of accounts are not adequately understood by the general public. Then next is that the revenue account is not able to disclose a fair and true view of the trading results, since it does not include interest paid or received. That is, the revenue account of the double account system is not able to disclose a true and fair view of the trading result. Why so? The revenue account of public utility concern do not show the fair view of the trading result, because it does not include it does not include interest paid or received. And at the same time, as renewals are usually charged to revenue, profits of any year are not always correctly be stated. Then next criticism or next disadvantage is that assets may be capitalized even though they are not of permanent nature. Some assets are like electric lights, mains, are not capable of being maintained out of revenue. Unless these are written off in due course, the capital account does not represent the true position. That is why so the capital account does not represent the true position, because some of the assets are capitalized even though they are not of permanent nature. Permanent nature allada asset capitalize cheyyunnundu. Then assets like electric light, mains, are not capable of being maintained out of revenue. They are not of maintaining by using the amount from the revenue receipts. Unless these are written off in due course, the capital account does not represent the true position. Then next, another criticism of this double account system is that the provision for depreciation, obsolescence, etc. may be overlooked in case of dead assets under the double account system. That is, in the case of dead asset. What do you mean by dead asset? Dead assets are those assets which cannot be used for the business purposes, and the amount invested in such type of asset is become a disinvestment. That is, the provision for depreciation, obsolescence, etc. may be overlooked. Those may be increased in case of dead asset under double account system. So these are some of the criticism or disadvantages of double account system. Then next, I move to the final accounts of electricity companies. That is, the recent changes in electricity companies. That is, the electricity industry was in the hands of government and local authorities, and the business of electricity was subject to two legislators known as Indian Electricity Act 1910 and Electricity Supply Act 1948. That is, the electricity companies are subject to two legislators known as what are those? That is, Indian Electricity Act 1910 and Electricity Supply Act 1948. In the early 1990s, the power was liberalized by permitting private participation in the generation and transmission sectors, and a new legislative Electricity Regulatory Commission 1998 come into existence for establishing independent electricity regulatory commission with powers to determine the tariffs. So this is the recent updation with regard to electricity companies. For the preparation of financial statement of electricity company, provisions of the Companies Act 2013 apply, which is inconsistent with the provisions of Electricity Act of 2003. So in order to prepare the final accounts of electricity companies, we need to make it use of the provisions contained in the Companies Act of 2013, which is similar to that of the Electricity Act of 2003. Okay, Electricity Act 2003 has not provided any format of financial statements to be followed by the electricity company, whereas the Companies Act 2013 provides that every company shall prepare its financial statements as per the schedule 3 to the Companies Act 2013. That is, with regard to Electricity Act of 2003, under this act, it is not provided any format of preparing the financial statements of electricity company to be followed by the electricity company, whereas in the case of Companies Act 2013, it provides the very company shall prepare its financial statement as per the Schedule 3rd to the Companies Act 2013. അതായത് ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി ആക്ടിൽ പ്രത്യേകിച്ചോ ഫോമാറ്റോ കാര്യങ്ങളോ പറയുന്നില്ല ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ. വേറസ് ഇൻ ദ കേസ് ഓഫ് കമ്പനീസ് അമെൻമെൻറ്റ് ആക്ട് ഓഫ് 2013 ആസ് പെർ ഷെഡ്യൂൾ 3 പ്രകാരം ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള പബ്ലിക് അതോറിറ്റീസ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ള കാര്യം അതിനകത്ത് പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. സോ ദെയർഫോർ ദ ഇലക്ട്രിസിറ്റി കമ്പനീസ് ആർ റിക്വയർഡ് ടു പ്രിപ്പയർ ദ ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻറ്റ് ആസ് പെർ ദ ഷെഡ്യൂൾ 3rd ഓഫ് കമ്പനീസ് ആക്ട് 2030. So now the electricity companies prepare the financial statement according to the provisions of Companies Act 2013 under Schedule 3. This is all about the accounts of electricity companies. Then next I want to discuss double account system versus double entry system. There may be confusion with regard to these two terms, that is double account system and double entry system are in these terms are similar or different. So in order to have a clear distinction between these two, I would like to point out certain points before you, that double account system is only a method of presentation of final accounts, but double entry system is a method of bookkeeping. That is, double entry system is a method of bookkeeping only, but double account system is a method of presentation of final accounts. The next is that double account system was developed specifically for public utility firms that spend large sums of capital on the purchase of fixed asset, but double entry system is used and accepted worldwide for maintaining of accounts. That is, double account system was developed by the public utility concerns having large sums of capital for purchasing the fixed asset, but double entry system is used as worldwide for maintaining of accounts. The next difference is that under double account system divides the balance sheet into two sections, that is capital account and the general balance sheet. But under double entry system, only one balance sheet is prepared in the form of statement of assets and liabilities. Under double entry system, balance sheet is prepared in the form of a statement, that is two column, that is assets and liabilities. But under double account system, here the balance sheet is divided into two sections or two parts, that is capital account and general balance sheet. That is why this system is called a double account system. Then next is with regard to the objective, that is the object of preparing balance sheet under double account system is to give details regarding the amount of fixed capital raised and its utilization towards the purchase of fixed asset. That is the main reason or the main object behind the double account system is to know what are the source of raising fixed capital and also how it is to be used for the purchase of fixed assets. But under double entry system, the main objects of preparing balance sheet is to know the financial position of a business concern. So these are some of the differences between double account system and double entry system. So I hope you are clear with my explanation. That is accounts of public utility concerns like electricity companies, and also some details about double account system. So thank you.